Hello, passengers, and welcome aboard the TV Pilot's License with service to Los Angeles and the 77th Primetime Emmy Awards at the Peacock Theater. We ask that you please fasten your headphones, secure your podcasting device, and remember that while you might not know the feeling of winning an Emmy Award, imagine getting upgraded to first class on a cross-country flight. Now, back to Coach, you fools.
Welcome to the TV Pilot's License. My name is Geoff Kerbis, joined by Rich Inman and Max Singer. How you boys doing today?
And by back to Coach, he means the Craig T. Nelson sitcom from the early 90s.
For your consideration, it's Rich.
Oh my gosh. Well, gentlemen, this week we're doing something a little bit different. Rather than talking about a TV pilot, we're going to be doing a preview of this year's Emmy Awards. But before we do so, maybe you found this podcast for the first time because you're an Emmy nom head or love the award season. Maybe you're a frequent flyer. Max, what is this podcast normally all about?
Hey, yeah, welcome. There's at least one or two of these shows we've covered in past episodes, so go back and find them if you're interested. Here at TV Pilot's License, we've definitely done The Pit in Paradise, that's for damn sure.
Oh, yeah.
Here at TV Pilot's License, we break down and analyze the pilot episodes of some of TV's most famous, or in some cases, infamous shows. We learn more about how these shows came to be and were originally made, if they're effective pilot episodes and making us want to watch more that can be made today. Go back and stream our old episodes from wherever you listen to podcasts. Check us on YouTube and TikTok to see our smiling faces. And if it is your first time flying with us, then welcome aboard.
And Rich, do you have a question of the week?
I got like 10 questions of the week here, Jeff. We pulled a couple of questions from some of our friends and contributors, and we're excited to dig into their Emmy takes.
Oops, all Emmy questions. Well, thank you, Rich, for giving folks a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be talking about. But before we do so, let's talk a little bit more about the Emmy Awards. And we're going to start off with a synopsis, question mark?
Sure.
This week, we're talking about the Emmys, and we'll start off with this synopsis. The 77th Primetime Emmy Awards celebrate the nominees in the running for the 2025 award show. Yep, that's the
Sure.
IMDb description. But Max, I think you have a few fun facts.
That's the
about how
$3
this
trillion
was made.
AI that Amazon's using that's currently melting the rainforest.
Thank you so much, Amazon, for making sure I don't have water in 10 years for that description. Max, how did the Emmys get made?
Can't wait for James Bond meets the marvelous Mrs. Maisel in 5 years.
Oy vey.
Hey,
Wait,
Jimmy,
wait.
Jimmy, use the laser.
Now.
Wait, I got it. Double Oy 7.
Oh, God.
Alrighty, so the Emmy Awards were first given out in 1949 by the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. The term Emmy is derived from Emmy, a slang term for a camera's image orthicon tube. The statue, a winged woman holding an atom, was designed by television engineer Louis McManus, who used his wife as the model. So fellas, step up.
Yeah. If you're not coming up with your own award show for your wife's birthday, what are you doing?
This is actually where the term trophy wife comes from.
Oh my God.
McManus's design was picked by the ATAS after they rejected 47 other proposals for statuettes. This year's leading nominees for drama series are Severance with 27 nominations, followed by The Penguin with 24, and on the comedy side, the studio leads the pack with 23. It ties the single-season record for a comedy series first set by The Bear, and broke the record for most nominations by a freshman comedy series, surpassing the 20 earned by Ted Lasso.
Wow. I mean, okay, so have you guys watched the studio at all? It seems pretty contradictory that everyone would kind of glom on to the show that essentially shits on the business that they're all part of.
Yeah,
Well,
but showbiz people love hearing
yeah.
people talk about showbiz.
Oh God, that's true.
Showbiz people love when showbiz people talk about showbiz, but also it's so fun to make fun of something that you've been entwined in for so long as well.
And also
right?
very successful at.
And
Yeah,
let's not
exactly.
forget, this is TV making fun of movies, which are rivals.
Ooh.
They're very different. They're not the same at all. Not the same people
Despite
working
the
on
way
them.
that we make TV now, they're very different.
Extremely different
What's
things.
a movie but an 8-hour less TV show?
Oh my gosh. Well, let's dive in a little bit to this year's Emmys. And There's no point by point, right? There's more of just general conversation. And I want to start off very simply with the host, right? This is the first person that we meet at the Emmys, and it is being done. Normally, there's a very wide range of what we've seen for the Emmys. You've seen folks who we're very used to seeing on TV all the time, like a Conan O'Brien or a Jimmy Kimmel-esque figure. But throughout the history of the Emmys, there's also been stand-up comedians who have taken the reins of this, and this year is no different. We're seeing
Deborah Vance, right?
Yes.
Deborah Vance is hosting.
John Marco Ceresi. It is
Look,
actually.
I'll throw my hat in that ring.
Hey, I will push that all the time, as much as maybe John Marco will not. But this year we get Nate Bargatze, which is a very interesting choice. I think a lot of people have a lot of feelings about. So I want to start with you two. What are your feelings about seeing Nate Bargatze host? And hey, you know what? For shits and giggles, make a prediction. How do you think he's going to do?
I mean, this has to be because of his the reception to his SNL hosting gig, right? Not that he was by any means a not well known comedian. He's playing arenas. He's doing huge tours.
Yeah, he's setting capacity records at basketball arenas and things like that for stand-up shows.
Yeah, and I do think that this is definitely a hey, we can't rock the boat. Trump is we're airing this on Paramount, and we can't and anything that could potentially anger Trump might screw up the Skydance merger. I think that really might be it. Not that Bargatze's not a terrific comedian, he is. But yeah, it feels like a very safe choice.
Max, I'm curious for you.
I think Nate's hilarious. I really do, and I want to say that first and foremost. I think this is a very funny person who can make very smart, witty, observational humor. Two things that for me that make a great award show host are the same things that make a great game show host, which are you need to be on the status of this high status of you control the game, you control the show, you're on the same level as the people you're in the room with. You need to have a slight bit of disdain for it, a slight bit of I don't give a shit. And then I guess the third thing is you need to be knowledgeable on the thing. The best game show hosts act like they know every answer as they're saying it. Yes. And I think what made Conan so successful at the Oscars this past year was how evident it was that he knew the films he was talking about. Whereas I think Kimmel's very funny as well, but there's a little bit more of a devil may care attitude about aren't movies so long? Whereas Conan was we're going to pay respect to every single person at the end credits of the movies, and you will sit here and listen to me. I don't know if Bargatze has all of those attributes that I look for. I think that he's a very dynamic family all ages comic, which is why he's risen to playing hockey arenas on his tour, a thing which is no small achievement. But my concern is, are we going to get past jokes about Severance and The Workplace and The White Lotus? Is there going to be that second gear that he could kick into that'll surprise me? I haven't seen the writing staff this year, but I think it's going to be contingent on can we get him to that next gear? Does he want to get to that next gear? Or are we just going to do jokes about Severance, The Penguin, White Lotus?
Yeah, I think it's going to be super interesting, right? Because when these award shows happen, I remember the first time Chris Rock actually hosted the Emmys, I got to meet one of the gentlemen who was in charge of producing that year's Oscars. And one of the most interesting parts of that conversation was listening to him talk about how it's written and the participation of the host in that process. And here's the thing. Bargatze is a great writer for the type of jokes that he has, right? I think that there is, as you both have alluded to, there's a very everyman, this is for the entire family sort of thing. And Rich, you made an allusion to maybe this was a very strategic decision that was made for a certain human being that exists out there that takes things very, very personally.
Right.
the other side of that is, you know, as much as I would be like, oh, what's a family friendly comedian? A lot of them have started to take a side. And I look at Bergazzi and I'm like, oh, he's taken a side ish, right? It's like, it's very much like I'm here, but I'm also not entirely here. And then Max, very much the SNL thing is huge, right? SNL is a great barometer, I think, of how much do people like a human being and how many people will tune in just for that human being in this instance. And I think, like, do I wish him the best of luck? Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's really tough when a host is bad. It is
fucking Joe Coy.
It's one of those things
we're on
that
the heels of the Joe Coy disaster. Not that Joe Coy isn't a hilarious comedian in his own right, but he was like, you can see how bad it goes when you bomb.
Yeah, like, just because you're funny does not mean you're a good host. You have to be able to hold. You have to be able to transition. You have to be able to segue. You have to have two awesome podcast hosts and be able to make sure that you reach both of them. Like, it's a hard job to do.
You need to have a little bit of disdain for your audience and act like you know the shit you're talking about.
And you have to like Smooth Brain TV. With that being said, though, you know what? Best of luck, Nate. I hope that you do the best job because it makes it better TV for us to all watch together when we watch the Emmys together the weekend of this coming out. But speaking about the Emmys themselves, right? We've talked a little bit about the hosts. There are awards that actually go on. We could make predictions about what that first montage will be. I will always, to this day, remember Conan O'Brien hosting the Emmys and being in the Office montage video. I don't know if you guys remember that one back when it was on NBC.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious, what's the win that you're hoping to see the most?
Oh, man. Look, I've been pit-pilled since day one, and it is absolutely time for this show to get its flowers and win Outstanding Drama Series. And the reason I want this win is because this is a category that over the last 10 years or so has been dominated by these incredibly over-the-top, grand, cinematic type shows that cost 5 times the amount per episode that the pit costs and come out every 3 years. And I love some of these shows. I loved Shogun when it won last year. I love Succession. I like The Crown. Game of Thrones won awards. Notice that I'm going in a certain order as I say these, but they're all a certain type of show. And for the pit to win would be a moderate budget medical drama that is filmed on the Warner Brothers lot and already has a return date set for January. It would feel like an old school TV win and a win for shows that very much feel like TV and that you don't need $50 million an episode to make an outstanding drama series.
Yeah,
Rich, what about yourself?
I completely agree. I mean, I'm always kind of rooting for stuff that isn't massive studio backed. Like, you know, the studio has a huge budget. The stuff like Hacks is a big budget. Andor has.
I mean, I am talking about an HBO show produced by Warner Brothers. Like,
this is not some like little shop.
No, this is not. But I do think like what I do really want to see, obviously, is some justice for what we do in the shadows. That's going to be like a major thing here. I know they're kind of segmented out to the show itself and writing categories, but to me, I think it's one of the best written shows on TV. Yes, it does borrow the Office format, but I do think it's really great. I mean, they love Abbott Elementary. That's also the Office format. So I'll tell you what I really don't want to fucking see is anyone giving awards to Nobody Wants This. Cut that shit out entirely. I do not get that trash out of here.
Oh, they should call it Rich Doesn't Want This.
Yeah, I do not want this. I do not want this. I think it is a vaguely anti-Semitic show, and I do not appreciate it. I also had a lot of love for Harrison Ford and Coleman Domingo for acting this year. Harrison Ford has become like increasingly more and more captivating to watch in Shrinking, and has he done TV before Shrinking? I don't know if he has.
No, this is his first.
Nope, this is his first.
He's terrific, and he shows a character that is essentially succumbing to Alzheimer's while also running a therapy practice, and what that entails with like his love life and friendships and stuff like that. I think it is a very difficult role to play. When it comes to acting for on the women's category, Janelle James and Jessica Williams could win anything, and I would be extremely happy and content with how the entire night goes. I think both of them are just absolutely they're so good.
So I feel like it'd be disappointing if I said Paradise didn't just sweep all the categories it was in, right? Like it'd be very disappointing for our audience. So one, would I like to see Paradise win some things? Yes, because I think that show, specifically the second to last episode of that show, is some of the best television that I've watched in a long time. That is not me trying to be coy. That is not me with like tongue in cheek. That is me being like, you should watch all of Paradise, get to the second to last episode, cry a little bit because you just watched something ridiculous, and then watch the last episode and be like, that was a little bit of a letdown after that one, but I'm going to watch the next season. But with that being said, though, the thing that I want to see win the most is I want to see The Daily Show win Outstanding Talk Series. And let me speak to why. The Daily Show, I think, especially in the wake of seeing what's happening with Late Show with Stephen Colbert, is very much a pinnacle of truth that still exists, and a bastion of having some sense of morals and having some sense of, we're going to write stuff that's funny but also gets to the point and makes you think a little bit. And it goes on 5 nights a week. Do we get Jon Stewart every night? No. But when we get him, holy shit.
It's great.
It's like Justin Verlander coming in. You know he's going to give you some good stuff, but he's only going to show up like maybe once or twice a week. For our non-baseball people.
Jeff has not been watching Verlander pitch all season.
No. I have Verlander from
I think more of a Kershaw example would be.
There we go.
Yeah.
My 2 baseball boys correcting me. But like, as far as that goes, I want to see something like that awarded. Do I think it's going to happen? I think they have a really tough lineup of things to go against, including Jimmy Kimmel Live and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which I would also be very happy if 2 of these 3 won. No shit on Jimmy Kimmel Live. I know people who work on that show, but this is more so shows that I think are doing really important stuff. Same thing with like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. SNL doesn't need to win again. I'm sorry. They had a good season, but like things that really drive truth to win a Primetime Emmy Award, I know someone's going to go on that stage and say something super fucking profound, which I know.
When's the last time Last Week Tonight lost an Emmy Award? Like,
dude, seriously. Well, because they only ever go up against one or 2 other shows.
They go up against SNL, and then it's just like,
SNL. But they changed that. It used to be 2 different categories, and then they made it into one category, and they're still wiping the floor with everyone.
I know.
But
I think one thing that like makes me less and less excited about the Emmys every year is that how much everything is like, it's like gerrymandered to get certain people awards. Is that like, I mean, do you feel the same way?
Well, go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Max.
I was going to say, are you proposing that we go to a Tony Awards format where you can only get nominated in the first year? Like, listen, it's not to say that Hamilton still isn't a great production, and the people that are in Hamilton aren't great, but Hamilton cannot win Tonys this year.
I'm very excited.
I think it would sure free up a lot of billboard space in Los Angeles.
I'm very excited for the year 2055 when Hamilton is back on Broadway for the first time, and it is up for
and
greatest
then it's
revival.
Up for revival, and then the new cast can get nominated in the acting
Yeah,
categories.
Lewis Hamilton, the musical.
Yeah, exactly. I'm now only thinking of how to do the opening number with Lewis Hamilton facts in it. Well, gentlemen, thank you for giving me a little peek into where your biases are. Let's talk about snubs, right? Let's talk about there was a lot of great TV that came out, and because of the format of the Emmys, sometimes people are left out of the final nominee listing because there was something that the studio might have been a little bit more excited about. So I'm curious for the 2 of you, what are your personal snubs into this year's Emmy Awards?
I gotta go with 6 seasons worth of snubs in acting categories for the cast of What We Do in the Shadows.
Bingo.
Yep.
The fact that I think only a couple of them even got a nomination throughout its entire run, 1 or 2 at the most. Nothing this year in any categories, including the guest spots. We'll get to that later, I'm sure. This is one of the most character-driven comedies on TV in the last decade. These are big, bold character choices. This is not slice-of-life, real people kind of things. And the fact that none of them got their flowers for actually giving these incredible comedic performances always is going to feel like a slight. Like, it's no shade to anyone on... I don't know. Let's just make up a show. We'll call it The Bear. I don't know. It's a fake show. It's nothing.
What's
it's
it about,
nothing
Max?
against,
What's this fake show about?
it's some bozos who run a sandwich shop in, I don't know, Milwaukee, let's say. And they're great actors in the show. Let's just say, hypothetically, they're all great actors. But the things that, like, Matthew Berry has done in 6 years of What We Do in the Shadows are such strong choices that deserve all of their love and flowers.
I don't think there's a single show that relies on one character as much as What We Do in the Shadows relies on Matt Berry. It is a you can have the bear without Carmy. You can have Severance without Britt Lower. Like, it is, there are certain people who are just irreplaceable in their shows, and you cannot replace Matt Berry. And to even just not have him get a single nomination for this show that really, like, made it feel like comedy was back in a way that was, I don't know, pretty revitalizing. It just seems insane. Also, Harvey Guillen. How can you pass up Harvey Guillen for this? That's, I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, Matt Berry has gotten 1 nomination for the show. He did get a nomination last year, but like 1 out of 6 years, he got a nomination.
Right. Yeah. He'd certainly deserve more. He is consequential to that show.
Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, sorry. For personal snubs, in addition to Shadows, I do think, and this may be controversial or weird, but I think Nathan Fielder deserves an acting recognition. Is that recognition? He needs recognition for his acting for the rehearsal.
There you go.
Because what he is doing with that show is as brave as anything Sacha Baron Cohen has ever done, as under the radar as Sacha Baron Cohen has ever done, and funnier than what Sacha Baron Cohen has ever done. And it is I know he doesn't have the charisma that you want in a leading actor or whatever, but that's what makes the entire show. He is doing something extremely complicated, and maybe they just don't get it. Maybe they just there is not an appreciation for that kind of thing. But he is doing so much, and I do think he deserves like some bit of a recognition.
I will hoot and holler to no end if he somehow gets that director win for Outstanding Comedy Series for directing there.
I think he needs
I don't know if they know what to do with him at these, because he's playing himself, but it's not himself. And that's a very hard thing to put into a nice, clean box that you can vote on. So I'm just going to put all of my vibes towards him somehow getting that director win.
Yeah. What do you think, Geoff?
Yeah. How did Love is Blind not get every nomination? No, I'm kidding. As far as what I will say is, Rich, you brought up Nobody Wants This, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a very... let's just call it a controversial show, and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about that show.
I only want to hear half of them.
The show that I am sort of very surprised that we're seeing nothing about is Man on the Inside. I thought that was such a beautifully written show, such a well-acted show, and a show that maybe might not be as marketable as Nobody Wants This, because it deals with some heavy shit. It's one of those that there's the performances there. I'll put it like this: when it comes to Emmy time or award season, I like to think of what are the performances that I'm going to think about for years to come outside of this. What's the show or the TV that I'm going to be thinking about after I watched that episode for days in some instances. And Man on the Inside is one of those shows that I constantly think about some of the extraordinary performances on that show, not just by Ted Danson, but by the cast in general.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be that it's a comedy. Maybe it's a little bit hard because there are some episodes that are a lot more drama and sad than comedy based. And they were like, where do we put this? Because the Emmys have no idea how to deal with that category, in all honesty. But it's one that I look at and I say, there should have just been a nomination. I'm not even asking for a win. I am just asking for one nomination. Who would like to give up their nomination for this great show to have one thing?
Yeah, I completely agree. I do have another question for you guys that came to me in the moment. Do you have like a dark horse, like someone that you think some category, some winner that you think really deserves it or like might come out and surprise us? Because I know I'm surprising you guys with this one in the moment. There's a lot of different categories, so I can go first.
Yeah, why don't you go first? Give us
my
give us
dark
a little...
horse is Cooper Koch for Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. He does an episode. Did you guys watch that whole series?
I watched a little bit of it.
Okay, there is one episode where Cooper, as Eric Menendez, has a 34-minute slow, painstakingly slow, one-shot monologue, and that's the entire episode. It is one of the most insane and talented and extravagant and probably unnecessary things that I've ever seen. He's giving like testimony to police officers, and the entire episode is one insanely slow moving shot towards him. No cuts, no anything. It's like watching one of the most intense like one man shows you've ever seen.
Max, do you have one?
I am going to say Justice for Network in Outstanding Actress in a Drama Series and Kathy Bates getting the win for Matlock.
Interesting.
I think that is a performance and a show that has a lot of goodwill about it. I'm intrigued because she got the love in the nomination in that category, but I don't feel like Matlock did across the board. And it's an odd field this year. It's Sharon Horgan for Bad Sisters on Apple TV, Britt Lower for Severance on Apple TV, Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us on HBO, and Kerry Russell for The Diplomat on Netflix. I want to say Kathy Bates. I want to see her do it.
Okay, hell yeah. I've not heard a ton of amazing things about Matlock as a show in general, but I'm all for Kathy Bates winning anything. So
I'm gonna go to a category that people don't really think about for the Emmys that much, which is television movie. And there is one that stood out to me because I watched it, and at first I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this is just, Geoff on a Friday afternoon watching something because it looks dumb.
Hell yeah.
But then this movie that I watched was amazing, and it's called Rebel Ridge. It is a just to give a quick synopsis of this so that if you're interested, you can watch it. It was directed by Jeremy Saulnier, and it stars Aaron Pierre, who is just, holy shit, a powerhouse of a human being in this entire movie. Not only from the fight choreography, but like the performance itself is really good. There's a lot of people that you'll just like see and you'll be like, oh, that's cool. Like Don Johnson is in it and Anna Sophia Robb is in it. It's
sign me up.
It's awesome.
Don Johnson, my big boy.
It is. I don't think the budget for it was like that large. I think it was something like under $10-15 million to make this movie. And then it's one of those ones where you just watch it and you're like, yep, this is for everyone.
I've heard this kicks ass. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard this just kicks a lot of ass.
But like, I know that this is a category that's like, it's competing with Nona's, which is the Vince Vaughn movie that like everyone really liked. And
is that
also
about the real restaurant in Staten Island?
It's about a restaurant that just hired grandmothers.
Right. That's a real restaurant in Staten Island.
The new Bridget Jones Diary movie also is in this. But I hope that this is one that wins because I want more people to watch this movie and more people to like be inspired to be like, hey, my movie, like movies like this are why people want to go to the movies. I'm really sad that this went on the streamer.
I'm going to be a stickler. None of the nominees in this category, though, are like made for TV movies. These are all like big budget things that just got put onto streamers. Like something like The Gorge and Apple TV being nominated in this is a like massive cinematic thing that stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller. They just didn't distinct. We're like, nope, we're not going to put it in theaters. I want to see like, I don't know, like a historical documentary film in this category. Don't give me shit that you forgot to put in theaters.
Max
Don't
says
yell at me.
Max says Ken Burns or I'm not watching.
Don't yell at me. This is I'm just taking advantage of the categories that were given in this
The
award
movie
show.
can whip ass, and I can be mad about it. Both things can be true.
I will say, just if you're listening to this and you're like, that sounds pretty interesting, go and watch this movie, and then you can just DM me on Instagram and we can just talk about this. Like that's fine by me.
Has
go for it, Rich.
Like doing research for this episode, has this made you want to watch one show in particular, like that you haven't caught with yet?
Yes, it
Okay.
has, because and I know we do a TV. I'm always so shy about talking about like what I watch in my free time and what I don't watch, because we host a TV podcast, right? Like this is it is one of those things where I'm like, oh shit, there's so many like shows that I should be watching that people are like, you watch this, right? And I'm just like, so like, for example, when you two talk about Hacks, I'm like, I know I need to watch it. I don't. When people
fine.
talk about The Bear, I'm just like, I've heard great and terrible things depending on the season. I
Dog,
don't.
If there's 100 bear haters in the room, I'm one of them. If there's 2 bear
Rich is
haters,
at the
I'm one
front
of them.
of the line.
If there's 1 bear hater, yeah, I'm the one. If there's 0 bear haters, I have died.
But I'm curious for you two. Are there shows, and don't be too shy, that you're like, ooh, I haven't watched this, but I'm interested now that I'm seeing how well nominated it is?
Definitely.
Do you
Yeah.
care to share?
Yeah, nope, that's
No.
it.
No,
I think,
Jeff, you fell into the trap.
I think for me, the one that I really want to check out, I haven't gotten to, is Dope Thief, which was on Apple TV this year with Brian Tyree Henry, Wagner Moura.
My dog.
I know like Vig Raves is in it, and that just seems like a real fun like undercover DEA caper. And I love Brian Tyree Henry, and like I remember seeing previews for it because I believe it's based on a book and it got all this hype, and I just kind of like forgot about it, and now I'm seeing it get nominations. I'm like, oh, I need to go back and check that out.
Yeah.
What about you, Rich?
The show for me is Slow Horses. I have not watched a single second of it. I have heard from so many people that it is one of their favorite shows that's out right now. I guess I'm just like, there's something about Apple TV Plus that just like I need to like be thrown into a show or I just will not find it. I don't know what it is. I have like an Apple TV that's for my TV that shows me Apple TV shows nonstop, and I just like I won't do it. I watched Stick, the golfing comedy with Mark Maron and Owen Wilson, and like and then Ted Lasso, which just sounds like it's kind of like the I don't know of a similar ilk.
Stick, lasso, rake.
Candlestick, carpet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's it. Slow Horses.
Well, let's dive into something a little bit different. So we, for our audience, this is normally when we'd go through an in-flight question, right? But we actually reached out to y'all, and we wanted to not only hear your opinions of this year's Emmys, but also your questions. If you are interested in sending us an answer, or maybe you want to give us an in-flight question, you can always go to tvpilotslicense.com, or you can go and shoot us a text or leave us a voicemail at 213-290-1713. But our first question / idea actually came to us from our friends at the Drama Pod. And that was, if you were to create a new award, what would you create? In their instance, they wanted to create best performance in something random because they were snubbed for their critically acclaimed long-running role. So is there a idea of an award that you would like to create in this instance?
I have to add, thank you so much to Connor and Dylan over at the Drama Pod for specifically creating this to give awards to Christine Baranski. We have to mention that part.
They are truly the best, and if you do not listen to their podcast, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I got one for this category. Thank you guys for sending this in. I've got two potential names for this. The first is Outstanding Binge Watch, also known as Achievement and Vibes. And this is a category where any show, any medium can be nominated for. And it's not the best thing we've seen on TV this year, but like it's the thing that's lighting up your group chat and you can't stop watching for some reason. This is an award where in the same category you could have Love Island USA, Clipped, The Hunting Wives, and American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez, all just going up against each other because
the Smooth Brain Award?
The Smooth Brain Award's a potential name. Was Broadway legend Norbert Leo Butts' portrayal of Bill Belichick the best thing I saw on TV this past year? No, but do I need to talk about it with everyone that I see that Broadway legend Norbert Leo Butts played Bill Belichick on an FX drama series? Yes!
Rich, what about yourself?
I think going with a bingeable sorry, this is creating a new category, right?
Creating your own Emmy category, yeah.
Entirely your own.
Yeah. Fuck, I had it written down. Hold on.
Well, while Rich
Jeff,
is
why don't you
reading his
go?
notes, I'll go. I want to create the best holy shit moment. And let me explain this in a little bit more detail because we have like awards for effects. We have an entirely different set of Emmys. But this year in particular, there were a lot of TV shows that had those moments that we've done on this podcast, like The Pit, for example. One of the opening scenes, all of us learned what a degloved leg looks like. And that was a moment where I said, holy shit. For another example, in Paradise, without spoiling it, there were some ducks. And I said, holy shit. So I would like us all to come together. And I think studios would have so much fun if it was just like, it could literally just be like a YouTube like video where it's just like, hey, this is our video. And like we submit it. And you have to rate from 1 to 10. When did you say holy shit the largest amount where you were just like, my dear God? Because here's the thing. Sometimes prestige TV can be really, really boring. We need to lean into this award show and make it a little bit more fun. Make it so that you can just say, holy shit. And then you see that instance and you're like, fuck, I got to watch that TV show so I can see that again and then see what else they do.
Yeah.
Rich?
Mine is a gendered category, so I just want to
not allowed
to specify that. For on the female side of things, it's best use of Aubrey Plaza, and it is every show gets Aubrey Plaza for a little bit, and then whoever puts her in the best category or whoever puts her in the best scenes wins. On the male side, it's best use of Zach Cherry. Because whoever Zach Cherry's agent is, hit me up if you have a moment in your fucking day, because Zach Cherry is everywhere, and I think every show should just get a little bit of Zach Cherry, and whoever utilizes him the best is.
Are you calling it the cherry on top?
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh.
That's nice.
Ooh, baby. Love that. Well, Connor and Dylan, thank you so much for that question. We have another question from our dear friend, Karama Dankwa. And this is more of a thought, but I actually have a question out of it for the two of you. So Karama said, I feel like the Emmys are constantly happening.
God, amen.
And I want for there to just be one super Emmys week where all the Emmys are given out and it's just wall-to-wall Emmys for 5 to 10,
and then we don't hear
10
about
days straight. So both of you living in LA, being bombarded by award season campaigns as well. I'm curious for you two. Can you tell our audience just how bad it is? And then also if you endorse this idea from Karama.
I don't think you could pass a bus stop that doesn't say FYC on it for like 11 months out of the year.
Man. Yeah, fuck
and
your
I don't
campaign.
know what it means.
It means fuck your campaign.
So do you think that this is a good idea, that like there's only a small time period where you can promote the Emmys?
I agree with this for anything that's over marketed, to be honest. And I get it. Like we're in a TV bubble for sure. Like here in Los Angeles, no one makes any of this shit here, but we sure have to hear about it constantly. Isn't that fun? What a fun, cool industry that we've built for ourselves. It's like being an Iowa voter. They're only coming to us once every 4 years, but they will not leave us alone. Yeah, I would say anything immense now gets 5 days. You get 5 days to tell me about why your show wins this award that's been carved out for your show now, and then you go away. That's it. You get 5 days.
So I think we need to eliminate the Creative Arts Emmys ceremony. We're going to keep these awards, but we're turning the Emmys into a 24-hour Jerry Lewis telethon style broadcast.
Yeah.
And everything is just going to be one day overnight. We're putting some of these heavy hitters in the 4 a.m. time slot. Like,
Okay.
You have to want it. You have to dig your heels in and stay up if you want to see this. We're doing 24 hours. We're also going to have the phone lines up. We're going to raise money for charity at the same time. But we're going to do one day, and then we're going to be done, and then we're going to wait for another year.
Wait, can we make this a segment where Max just rattles off a cocaine idea once a week?
I almost want it to be like Max. You have a gigantic bingo ball cage, and it has all the different awards in it, and so that's how it's randomized.
Honestly,
where
fun.
it's just like
I'm here for it.
We're giving out Emmys Powerball style.
Yeah, we're like, all right, let's see what's up next. All right, best supporting actor in a drama. It's 3:30 in the morning, and
Yeah.
like, all right, here are your nominees. But the bits have to be coordinated, so everyone has to be up and delirious for all 24 hours.
Yeah,
of that.
stay tuned for Bryan Cranston singing the hits of CCR. It's the Emmys.
And make it Rich's least favorite thing, a Twitch stream.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
I'm already not going to watch it.
Oh God, yeah. This is how we guarantee how that happens. So we actually got one question that I really liked was, we don't talk about reality TV that much on this podcast, just because of the nature of reality TV makes it hard to talk about the pilot.
Go back to our strike episodes.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to hear more, go back to our strike episodes for sure.
This is a Bad Girls Club with Dylan Adler.
We have this question from Kayla Teal. I've got my eyes on the reality series awards, rooting for Survivor and Love on the Spectrum, but I think Traitors could take it again. Do we have a pick? Do you have, there are two major awards for reality TV. There's reality competition and structured reality. If you're looking at our notes, I can just tell the audience, just in case you're curious. For reality competition, it's Amazing Race, RuPaul, Drag Race, Survivor, Top Chef, and The Traitors. For structured reality, it's Antiques Roadshow, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Love on the Spectrum, Queer Eye, and Shark Tank.
Triple D getting Emmy noms in 2025 is insane.
Hell yeah.
Antiques Roadshow getting Emmy nominations.
Antiques Roadshow with a 50-year run of dominance
What
on
do
PBS.
we think their for your consideration campaign is like? Like what are they doing? Are
Nothing,
they just
dude.
going?
Trump just cut all their funding.
It's an Emmy from 1949.
Are they going to voters' houses and being like, "I guess we'll appraise your shit for you"? Like, I get, thank you so much, and
You
imagine
gotta
this
think
on
that
TV.
Triple D and Antiques Roadshow have a great chance with Nate Bargatze hosting.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
yeah. There's nothing that my dad would want more than Triple D and to be presented, than Guy Fieri being presented an award from Nate Bargatze.
I need to hear Guy Fieri's speech. I need it. I need it more than life itself. But do you guys have a favorite? Like, are you big Traitors people? Like, what are your thoughts?
I'm a huge fan of Drag Race and Traitors. I don't watch a lot of Amazing Race, Survivor, or Top Chef. I think Drag Race they've swept so many of these at this point. I think Traitors is something new and something that is pretty consistently changing in terms of gameplay. And Drag Race does an incredible job with their show. I'm going to keep watching. But it is at this point pretty cyclical and repetitive from how the game is played. And now the people who have come on to Drag Race now know how to play that game for the social media element of it. So I think there's not as much of an incentive to win RuPaul's Drag Race as there is for traders, if that makes sense.
Max, what about you?
I have only watched one of these shows this year across both of those categories. So by default, I'm picking the traders in the Outstanding Reality Competition. Structured Reality, I unfortunately have no say in that whatsoever. I have not watched any of those programs in this past year.
And what I'll say is, for some reason, like I've always been a big Top Chef guy. Surprise. Okay. I like looking at food on TV and thinking, wow, that looks good while eating something that's awful for me. But
friend of the Padma Lakshmi.
Yeah. But for some reason this year, I've heard more people talk about Top Chef than like ever. I've had more people to talk to it about than like ever. And that's not me like knowing anything. That's just maybe in your mid 30s, more people watch Top Chef, and I finally found my age demographic for that show.
Bravo.
But you know what? Kristen Kish is an amazing host. I think that they do such a good job with that show. And it's really fun that they go around the world to do it. So, you know what? I'd be very happy to see it. But also, if it doesn't win, that's okay. They're still making great food, and it's still a fun time. Nice. But thank you so much for that question, Kayla. You guys want to do one more question?
Yeah, screw it.
Yeah, let's do one more. Let's do a last one.
All right. One last question, and we are going to go to a question from Michael. And this one is just a general
made me
summary.
Giggle when I read it.
Does Pitt get their hardware, or is it all Apple TV Plus again? That being said, I'm curious for you. What do you think the narrative is going to be coming out of this year's Emmy Awards? Max, you talked a little bit about it up top, right? As far as the most nominations, we have Severance and The White Lotus. For overall nominations, it is Severance across all the Emmy categories. So I'm asking you, what is the headline on Monday after the Emmy Awards in all of the trades?
Oh man, it's a big picture of the city of Pittsburgh, and there's Pirates flags being waved, and we're all blasting Mac Miller songs, and we are giving it up to the Pit. We're getting down with Dr. Mel. We're getting down with we're getting down with Dr. Robbie. We're cracking beers in the park. We're absolutely going nuts for this medical drama winning, if I have my way.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting not one, not two, but all three rivers, dog.
Rich, what about you?
I really would love the optimism of Max's, because God, it is so hard to make a medical procedural show that feels different in 2025. We've had a lot of them. But I do think it's going Apple TV Plus, and I do think a lot of these awards are going to the studio. It's going to Severance, and I probably feel worse about everything going to the studio having watched it. Just because,
so you think they're taking both? Do you think that Apple TV is taking comedy and drama this year?
I think they are. I mean, look, I don't think a single show does as much to build suspense as Severance, and I think the acting is great. I think the storytelling is good, but I think because Max, you said there's nothing that people working in show business love talking more than other people working in show business, or working in show business as a concept. I don't think there's any way that they don't take this for the studio too.
Well, then we're taking it to the max, and I'm going also Hacks getting another win.
That'd be great
for Outstanding Comedy Series. HBO Max getting the sweep. I'm taking Hacks and The Pit winning top two this year.
I hope it shadows
damn it,
over
Max, you took my headline, because I was going to say taking it to the HBO Max, because I think that very much it is going to be HBO's party. I know that we were all talking about Severance when that show was on, or the new season was coming out. But I just have this distinct feeling in my gut that we're going to see HBO and HBO Max both just clean up. It might not be both for the major two, right? But I do see it as a instance where we're going to hear a lot of the White Lotus, and we're gonna hear Hacks, and we're just gonna hear the same names used all the time, and then people are gonna be like, why is this one nominated for HBO and this one's nominated for HBO Max? The reason is because one streamed and one was actually on HBO and then it was on HBO Max. We can talk about that on another podcast.
Just wait for me to have 2 beers and nonstop doing my Parker Posey White Lotus impression for you guys on Sunday night.
I'm so excited. 2 beers, Thai food, and we're going to hear a lot of Parker Posey.
I do have one quick take that I need to rattle off, and it's just something that's just like absolutely fucking driving me insane. This guest performance category needs to go and be buried under the Pitt Hospital. It is like, Jesus Christ, it is just handing shit to the most awarded and rich people that ever walked across the to go do 3 minutes of work for the studio. It is such a garbage category, and I'm sorry, these people do not need it. Ron Howard does not need a fucking Emmy for this. Okay. If you're, for all my metallurgy fans in the audience, an Emmy award takes 5 hours to make. You know what doesn't take 5 hours to make? How much time Ron Howard was on the fucking studio.
And you know what the bummer is, though? Because, like, the guy's side for that, it's, like, 5 dudes who were in 30 seconds in the studio, and then John Bernthal for The Bear. And then on the actress side, it's Olivia Colman, Jamie Lee Curtis, Cynthia Erivo for Poker Face, Robbie Hoffman for Hacks, Julianne Nicholson for Hacks, both of whom just tear it down in their respective roles, and then Zoe Kravitz for the studio. And like the actual like role diversity and the number of people who just give such great performances in the actress side compared to the actor side, it's night and day.
Absolutely. I just don't. I think the category needs to go in general. I mean, like, I loved Robbie Hoffman in Hacks, but she didn't have a lot of stage time. It's not like she was on screen very often.
But that's what it is. It's a guest performance.
No, I know, but it's like it's not enough. I mean, the guest performance should
then give it to Julianne Nicholson for Dance Mob. She ate down that entire season.
Yeah, Scorsese does not need an Emmy. I'm sorry. Bye.
Scorsese couldn't play Dance Mob.
But Dance Mom could make Goodfellas. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's how it works. Dance Mom could make The Irishman. Well, gentlemen, our flight is coming to a land. But before we go, I just, we've answered a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. I just want your general vibes. Why should people watch the Emmys? If you have a pitch, what's your pitch for them?
Oh, I mean, I think the battle between Apple TV and HBO, as sad and as that kind of sounds, I think is fun. I think it's fun to root for or against something. I am not a big award show fan in general. I think people constantly patting themselves on the back for maybe the most commodified art form in the planet is masturbatory and useless. And don't give fucking Martin Scorsese an Emmy for being on screen for 2 minutes. God damn it.
Give him an Oscar for his role in Shark Tale.
Yeah, thank you.
Max, what about you? Why should people watch the Emmys?
Because it's fun to go to the literal and proverbial water cooler with your friends and colleagues. It's fun to be able to watch these things over weeks and months at a time and follow along in these stories and be able to converse and enjoy it. And if you want to see interesting comics get a chance to take a crack at these things versus the same old people, then tune in for them. And if you have shows, you should watch them and support them and do it while they're actually getting their runs in the season, and don't just wait till they come on the most convenient streamer for you. Like, be engaged. Like, it's silly, but art is also just like a fabric of our culture, and we should try to hold it up and celebrate it in some way.
Absolutely. Geoff?
And for myself, what I'll recommend, if you are of the mindset of like, hey, I don't really know that much TV. Hey, I watch the same things and I'm not really aware of this. Go and watch the Emmys with your friends. It is so much fun.
Make a game of it.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, you can have the sheet. You can mark the people or the last year. Did Max know every single person that was going to win? Yes. Did I get 2 right? Also, yes.
Well,
Did
I had
have
the script.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But
Max knows a lot of people at PricewaterhouseCoopers.
but did I have one hell of a time doing it? Yeah. So I would say if you are sort of on the edge, call a friend. I don't recommend going to a bar because it's Sunday and there will be football on. But you can watch the Emmys and have a hell of a time. And hey, support an award show. And maybe, hey, Nate Bargatze might absolutely kill it.
I'm gonna laugh at Nate. I'm sorry. He's gonna at
There's
least
nothing
have
to
a
be sorry about. It's
No,
not
I
like
mean,
you're.
I'm really hoping he does well. But regardless, I know he's gonna have at least a couple that really make me laugh.
Rich, before we go, it's time for your game of the week.
I got 2 quick questions about Emmy trivia. A member of which sect of government once hosted the Emmys? A, the Supreme Court. B, the House of Representatives. C, the presidency. D, the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
I'm going to say Joint Chiefs of Staff.
I'm going to say the presidency. Like, I could see them doing it from the Oval Office, some shit like that.
It was the Supreme Court. The 3rd Academy Awards was hosted by Earl Warren, if you can believe that. He was
Hilarious.
brought the house down. Nate Bargatze, you got to follow Earl Warren. Okay. He was the governor of California at the time. All right. It's probably the longest category name, but who knows? I'm going to read a real award category that the Emmys tested out for 1 year. But I've added one title in there that's not real. Which one is the one that's not real? All right. The award is Best Continuing Performance in a Series by a comedian, singer, hostess, dancer, MC, journalist, announcer, narrator, panelist, or any person who essentially plays herself. That is I don't know how they fit that on a fucking award, but that is the full name of the category.
It has a little extender, it's
Right.
like, all right,
If I don't just blurt my answer, I'm going to forget it. So I'm going to say journalist.
I'm going to say continuing.
Continuing.
Yeah, the continuing, the part at the beginning that you said continuing.
That's not the part that's fake. You added best.
Yeah, hey, I gameplay over here. I am trying to win.
That's crazy. It was journalist.
I got it.
That's so funny.
It's a much more appropriately named award.
But yeah, singer, hostess, dancer, MC, announcer, narrator, panelist, and comedian. We're all in it. We're all in it.
They say the more
and
hyphens you have in
continuing.
your title, the less you do. So
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
All
But
right,
yeah,
well-
that's Emmy trivia.
Thank you so much, Rich. Gentlemen, our flight has come to a land, but before we go, I want to make sure that folks can find you wherever you are looking to be found. So, Rich, where can folks find you?
You can find me writing a 5th season to have more Coleman Domingo in my life, and you can find me at Damn That's Rich over on Instagram.
Max?
oh man, you could find me modeling a statuette after my wife.
Big wife statue guy.
You can find me on all things social media at Maxwell Sig. And if you're listening to this and you live in Los Angeles, I am going to be playing the first ever Los Angeles Musical Improv Festival
Yes.
this
Hell yeah.
Saturday night, September 13th at 8:45 p.m. at the Clubhouse Theater in Los Feliz. So come out and support local musical improv comedy.
Go. I'm going to be there.
And you can find me watching the Emmys with 2 of my best friends that evening. But if you're looking for me on social media and you want to talk Paradise, you can find me at Run Jeff Run. If you're looking for the TV Pilot's license, you can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. Make sure to rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. It really does help the podcast out a lot as we continue to grow. If you have a question for the show, make sure to go to tvpilotslicense.com, or you can shoot us a voicemail or leave us a text at 213-290-1713. Make sure to watch out for some of this stuff that we have coming back coming up, including going back to our regular programming next week, but with the plane landed and the seatbelt sign off. We look forward to flying the bright skies of the TV world with you soon. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and your fingers on the dial.
Vote for Paradise. It's our favorite show on Hulu.